In the year 1581, occultists John Dee and Edward Kelly claimed to have received communications from angels, in which they had revealed to them the foundations of a language with which to communicate with the other world. This angelic language had its own alphabet, grammar, and syntax, which were later published in magazines. The new language was called Enochian, and its name comes from John Dee's claim that the biblical patriarch Enoch had been the last human to know this language. Dr. John Dee, 1527–1609, was an occultist, mathematician, astronomer, and astrologer who lived in the Mortlake neighborhood of West London for most of his life. He was a cultivated man who studied at St. John's College in Cambridge, and was eventually accepted into circles of power related to the ruling elite. He served as scientific advisor and confidant of Queen Elizabeth I. He is associated with the expression British Empire, which is said to have coined himself. During his earliest age, Dee showed little interest in the supernatural. Later, he became disillusioned with science and began to experiment with the occult. Dee sought to discover lost spiritual knowledge and recover the wisdom he believed hidden in the books of antiquity. Among these books was the then legendary Book of Enoch, which Dee conceived as a book that would describe the magical system employed by the biblical patriarch Enoch. The term Enochian comes from the biblical Enoch, who was considered a source of hidden mystical knowledge and who, according to legend, God ascended to heaven in life. According to Genesis 5:24, walked with God, and Hebrews 11:5 states that he was taken away from this life so that he would not experience death. From 1581 to 1585, Dee began to develop a long series of magic-type activities. In 1581, at the age of 54, Dee wrote in his personal diary that God had sent kind angels to communicate directly with mankind. By the year 1582 he was already collaborating with his colleague Edward Kelly, occultist and seer, in order to communicate with these angels. Hundreds of conversations with numerous spirits were recorded, including many revealing what they claimed to be an angelic language called Enochian, composed of non-English words. The Enochian alphabet was communicated to Dr. John Dee and Edward Kelly during divination sessions, in which they received numerous texts and tables revealed by the angels. Scrying is a method used by seers, wizards, and sorcerers to predict the future, including techniques such as staring at a reflective surface to receive messages from the other side. It is documented that Dee and Kelly used certain objects, such as a mirror of black obsidian and a crystal ball, to experience these visions. Dee was a speaker, directing his prayers to God and the archangels for sessions lasting between 15 minutes and 1 hour. They placed a divinatory stone on the table and the angels were invoked to manifest themselves. Dee and Kelly looked closely at the stone and took note of everything they saw and heard. The angels explained that magic would grant superhuman powers to its practitioners, change the political structure of Europe, and announce the arrival of the apocalypse. Dee believed that what he was doing would benefit posterity, so he transcribed all the information received into a series of manuscripts and books that included practical exercises. He never described the language used throughout the sessions as Enochian, preferring to call him angelic, the heavenly speech, the first language of Jesus Christ, and particularly Adamic, since he claimed to have been used by Adam in the Garden of Eden to name all the creatures of God. There are two different versions of the Enochian alphabet, being the letters of one of them slightly different from the other. The first version is found in a Dee manuscript, the first 5 books of the Mysteries, and the second, in general the most accepted, is in the Liber Loagaeth, Kelly's own handwritten version. It is written from right to left, and may include accents. Some Enochian letters have equivalents in English letters and a similar pronunciation, but many of them are pronounced differently. The alphabet is used in Enochian magic practice on angelic or Enochian keys. He came to us by Edward Kelly in 1584, in Krakow, Poland. That year he wrote in his diary a series of 19 magical incantations. The keys comprise 48 poetic verses and correspond to various functions within the Enochian magic system. The chart below shows the original letters of the Enochian alphabet with its transcription in modern English based on the writings of John Dee in Old English. Due to the loss of some parts of the original manuscripts of John Dee, diverse interpretations have arisen in relation to the meaning, validity, and authenticity of the Enochian language. Some magicians assert that it is the oldest language in the world, having preceded all other human languages. In some circles it is considered one of the most powerful types of magic and a method for coming into contact with other dimensions. His detractors, however, point out that the Enochian syntax resembles notably that of English, the native language of Dee and Kelly. Among these similarities we can mention the word Luciftias, which means brilliance, and which has a connection with Lucifer, whose name means bearer of light. Lundo, the Enochian word for kingdom, can simply depict Dee's connection with her royal protector, the Queen of England. Computer analyses have also demonstrated grammatical similarity with English. Liberloagaeth texts show phonetic features that do not appear in natural languages. These traits are often associated with glossolalia, or gift of tongues. Modern occultists find it difficult to reconstruct the Enochian system, although progress has been made by studying the original manuscripts found in Sir Hans Sloane's library. From these studies, various groups and authors have created an effective system of magic. The Enochian language was recovered and popularized by occultists like the members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, Israel Regardie, and Anton LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan. Many Satanists have come to include Enochian clues in their rituals, and some of them have even adopted the whole language for their use. The Enochian language was also studied by space engineer Jack Parson, member of the Ordo Templi Orientis. In 1994 the Enochian letters were used as glyphs to activate a dimensional gate in the movie Stargate, 1 year before the Stargate remote viewing program was made public. Another aspect of Enochian magic is Enochian chess. It is at the same time a game and a tool of divination, coming from the original writings of John Dee. It is a complex system that requires solid fundamentals in the study of Kabbalah, geomancy, tarot, alchemy, and astrology. Many of the objects used by Dee and Kelly can be seen today at the British Museum in London, England.